Well, it's been so far so good for England in qualifying, hasn't it? Unbeaten record so far. And let's look ahead to this latest match then as they prepare to take on Andorra later on at Wembley tonight. Pleased to say joining us to look ahead to it is the England legend that is Stuart Pearce. Good morning to you, Stuart.
Stuart.
Morning, Tone. Morning, Nat.
Are you okay? All good?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Good.
Very good. Attacking my hedges in the garden at the moment, you know. So,
Already this morning?
Yes, indeed. They don't stop growing now.
They stop growing at night. Stuart, I've got to ask you because I was thinking about this the other day and thinking, in how far to get in the England team? If you're, like today, we're going to see probably a number of players getting an opportunity, and that's a sign of a really good team when it's hard to get into it.
It certainly is. I mean, it shows depth of squad as well, Tone, and it shows. I'll tell you what England have got. They've got a level of consistency now. I think you can turn up, and even if he does make changes, you expect a level of consistency in performance, and that is the most pleasing thing for me. I almost know what to expect today when I turn up to watch an England team play, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's 4 wins out of 4 so far for England, and they've got Poland to come on Wednesday. So with regards to the selection that Gareth Southgate makes today, Stuart, what would you be looking to do? What players would you be resting? What players would you like to see?
I would look at it like this. I think he's got to, the way the games have panned out, they'll be quite pleased that the so-called tougher games are first and last and put a few days between each. I would see wholesale changes today, personally. I think he won't be looking to play, I wouldn't suspect, any players 3 matches. So that tells you he's going to work back from his strongest team on Wednesday night. And I can see a lot of players, Bamford included and 1 or 2 others. Cody was mentioned earlier. And literally wholesale changes. Bellingham, all of those individuals need to get a game to show that they're part of this setup.
Stuart, which ones excite you the most? Because you mentioned Bellingham, and I think a lot of England fans would like to see more of him because we know what Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice can do, and that's pretty an exceptional job. And this is a young lad with a golden opportunity.
It certainly is. I thought he would get more game time in the Euros, actually. Leading into it, when I was asked, I thought to myself, this is one lad that sort of isn't in the starting lineup at the moment that just might break through into the team. But I think because the team's done so well, he was limited on minutes. But I think all of us are looking for a progression between now and the World Cup, definitely. He's certainly head of the list in that respect. And there's still people like, Grealish, who's, made a start and is convincing Gareth, I am in your first 11. People like himself. I don't think Jack will play today, but I think he'll play again on Wednesday. There's a few of them who still got to convince the manager, Saka as well.
And with regards to Patrick Bamford, you've already mentioned him as a possible or more than likely starter for England today. When you think back to March and he missed out in the squad then, it was Ollie Watkins that Gareth Southgate preferred. A huge opportunity for Patrick Bamford today against Andorra. You know what it's like to have made your debut for England. What does it feel like when you know that time is coming?
I think the beauty of it is when you come into this England squad now, I think there's an air of confidence about the group, and it seems seamless when players go in and make their debut. I see them a lot more rounded now when they go in. But the one thing you've got to do is just prove that you're doing all the right things, and the occasion doesn't, unhinge you in any way, shape or form. You've got to prove to the manager, look, I'm comfortable with this standard of football and what it means to represent my national team.
Stuart, this idea has been in my head for quite a number of weeks, and I talked about it at the start of the season because you work with a player at West Ham who still hasn't played international football for Jamaica, he could play for, or England, and that's Antonio. And I thought, I'd say Gareth missed a trick. That's probably a bit unfair, but actually selecting a player that I think gives so much more, and you witness it on a daily basis, watching him train in the games he's played, and I felt, England should have selected Mikel Antonio along the way.
Well, he's been in a squad many, many years ago, but
Was that under Big Sam? That was under Big Sam, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, as I say, and listen, he showed a real level of consistency over the last couple of years, I've got to say. I mean, I signed him at Nottingham Forest and as a winger, and it was that level of consistency you were always striving for. But his level of professionalism, his level of consistency have gone through the roof working under David, and David's really, getting the best out of him. And I think from Mick's point of view, he's really enjoying his football. Now, whether the odd injury now and then has stopped him getting a level of consistency in the manager's eyes, who knows? But I think he's due to play for Jamaica this weekend. Yeah. So, I mean, that door will be shut. Yeah. But from his point of view, we'll be looking and saying, can I qualify for the World Cup and be at the World Cup either way, I think, So, listen, it's one of those decisions. We've had certain players maybe so-called slip through the net or go and choose other nations. That's just the nature of it, and that's Mick's choice on it at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Talking back on England then, and with this game against Andorra to come, they obviously played Hungary in midweek and it was a 4-0 win in the end. A tale of two halves, I suppose we could say, in that game, that cliche that we often like to use. Did you watch that game? What did you make of England's performance?
Yeah, we covered that game.
Of course, you were there. What was I saying? Of course, you're part of a commentary team, Stuart. Sorry.
It's Sunday morning, Nat. Don't be hard on yourself. I thought it was a really workmanlike. We ground them down in the first half, got momentum back off them very early on in the game, dominated the game, I've got to say. And the longer the game went on, the more you thought, OK, it's just a matter of time getting a goal. But you've got to say, after the Lord Mayor's show of the summer, I was always, hesitant to think what this performance going to be like. Can Gareth get them going again? And I was so pleased that they delivered. That's not an easy place to go, by the way, Hungary. That and to get a 4-0 result is some result, believe me, even though it took you the second half to get the goals.
Stuart, just on West Ham, start of season, 3 games, 7 points, 10 goals for. Pretty exciting start to the season for you.
Yeah, we're enjoying our football. There's a good squad situation and a good togetherness at the football club, Tone, I've got to say. And they've, I think, done pretty well in the transfer market, brought 4 players in. At the back end of the window, we had to be very patient. But, the new players can come and add something that we haven't got and give us a bit more depth within the squad. And I just see it as an evolving squad that can get better and better. So we're enjoying our football there. But you know what football's like. It changes very quickly, Tone. But listen, we're enjoying what we're doing, it's fair to say.
Yeah. I remember actually we were speaking to you before, I forget which game when we were speaking to you, Stuart, and we spoke, I think it was before the season really got underway, and we spoke about Syed Benrahma, if you remember, and I'd seen him in pre-season action, a player obviously I would know from his days at Brentford, and he's got off to a terrific start as well this season for West Ham.
Yeah, he certainly has. As I say, sometimes it takes you a little while to set into a new club. Bear in mind, Saeed stepped up a level as well, No disrespect to where he was playing, but he was scoring goals, making assists, and all of those things attracted us to him. And it was just a case of from there, just giving him time, really, just to settle into the football club.
And what we must say is what always shines through currently with the West Ham squad is just that there just seems to be a really happy environment at West Ham.
Yeah, that's the way it seems at the moment. The players push each other. There's a real level of professionalism here, and listen, the manager takes full credit for that. He's developed that over time, and he's an exceptional man to work alongside.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Stuart. Thank you
very
much
for
Stuart. Joining us.
Have a good day.
You too. I hope those hedges get the trim that they need. I'm very active this morning already, trimming his hedges.
I don't imagine Stuart ever sitting around, do you, though?
No, you're probably right.
I don't ever think that he would be up to, all sorts, whatever.
Weekend Sports Breakfast with Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino. Sunday mornings from 6 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.